Peace and love, words that you think of often ascribed to the 1960s, but when you look at everything that went on in the 1960s, these don't seem to sum up everything. During the 1950s, people had been seeking that safe, suburban paradise. But as we move into the 60s, that all gives way to sit-ins, protests, turbulence, all kinds of troubles. Some of the old problems that had faced America during the 1950s, the struggle for civil rights, the Cold War, these will continue to be an issue in the 1960s. In fact, will heat up. The Cold War especially will heat up first in Cuba and then in Vietnam. We'll see the civil rights movement continue on, with the March on Washington kind of reaching the height of the area of peaceful protests and civil disobedience, and start to move into a more militant phase. In fact, all of America was moving into a more militant phase by the mid-1960s. The decade begins with a young, optimistic president that seems to reflect the hopes of tomorrow, and John F. Kennedy's presidency will be cut down with an assassin's bullet before he finishes his first term. We're going to see the young people, the baby boom generation, as they're reaching maturity, challenge the social values, the standards of their parents' generation. By the summer of love, a counterculture movement will be growing in San Francisco, and the ideas of this hippie generation mixing with the social protests is going to spread across America. We're going to see people not only protesting on behalf of civil rights and social reform, but we're going to see people protesting the war in Vietnam. We're going to see women begin to fight for women's rights. We're going to see other ethnic groups start to follow the example set by the African American civil rights movement. Not everything is going to be protest and trouble. There will be some successes. We'll see some reforms going on in America which will benefit future generations that come out of all these troubles. We'll see the space race conclude successfully with man walking on the moon. America will have its successes, but throughout this decade, as you look at the 1960s, you'll see a time where America is growing up. It's going from that nice little world of the 1950s into America that's going to face the challenges of the late 20th century. With that is going to come growing pains. So as you look at this chapter, look for the political, the social, the cultural changes that have forever influenced America and still continue to influence us today.